I will now call to order the January 18th, 2022 Community Services Commission meeting. Vice Chairperson Barraza, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, Vice Chairperson. Roll call.
Chairperson Scarborough Echo,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Barraza,
Present.
Commissioner Ordian,
Present.
Commissioner Wilcoxon, Commissioner Phillips Martinez,
Present.
Thank you. Item number 4, Commissioner comments. I will start with Commissioner Wilcoxon. Thank you, Commissioner Wilcoxon. Vice Chairperson Barraza.
Thank you, Chairperson. First of all, welcome everyone. Yes, I want to congratulate the city for receiving the $8.5 million from state parks to build the new sports park. Great, exciting news. We found out a few weeks ago, back in December, I want to say early December. So I want to congratulate the city, the staff that worked on this grant application, and then all the residents that had come out to those engagement community meetings. Thank them again for their input. And we're looking forward to the groundbreaking. I believe it's going to be later this year, if not early next year. And we're excited to, get us going on that. And then also just remind everyone to, keep safe from COVID. We know that the number of cases is rising, so just make sure that you keeping safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairperson. Commissioner Ordian.
I'm going to take the mask out. Well, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone. And we're entering to 2022. And I wish everyone to be safe and healthy. And, just let's look together what we can do this year to enhance and build the city of Indio and help us as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ordian. Commissioner Phillips Martinez.
Yes, I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone, and nice to see some new things happening in downtown Indio. Very exciting since I work in the area. It's nice to see some things happening down there, and we're very excited to hear more about them.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips Martinez. And I have no comments, so we will move forward to item number 5, public comment. And I believe we have Mr. Michael Zamudio comment.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Zamudio. I'm a resident here at City of Indio for 64 years. During our last meeting that was held in person, I believe it was November meeting.
Oh, I believe it was the November meeting that we had. I made a comment in reference to some things that I saw at Miles Park. It was then referenced during the last meeting, which I did not attend, but I felt like I was called out on what I had said. The syringes that I saw at the Miles Park, I'm not suggesting that somebody had called me a liar, but I was called out on it, and I just wanted to clear it up. I did see syringes. My grandsons were there with me. And that's all I got to say about that. But the other thing that I really wanted to comment about was I talked to Mr. Curtis after that particular meeting. He came to the back and we sat and talked about the Davisfield baseball fields. And my concern was that, we're in a new era. I've been here 64 years. I watched the city grow from tumbleweeds to 2-lane highways to 4 and 6 lanes, freeways, bridges. So I've been here for a long, long time. And It's time for change. And I think that, as Mr. Curtis had explained to me in reference to the Davis Field, I don't see any difference between Davis Field and Jackson Park. Mr. Curtis had mentioned to me that the reason why it's locked chained up is because of the snack bar and the restaurants and different little items, which I can understand. But Jackson Field is wide open to the public. It has bathrooms. It has a snack bar. It has equipment for the fields. So why is it that we have Davis Field chained up? I'm looking to get the chains off the gates and open it to the public. We have no place to take our kids for practice. Schools cut us out. There are no open fields out here other than Jackson Park. There's 2 baseball fields there. I personally myself quit coaching because I had to go get my kids to go to other cities to practice baseball or softball, whatever the case may be. So I'm looking to ask, and hopefully it gets, approved. I just want to see the locks on those gates taken down. We're ready for change. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Zamudio. If there are no other public comments, we'll move forward with item number 6, the approval of the minutes from November 16th. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second the motion.
I'm tapping on it, but it's not working. Yeah, it won't let me.
Who's voted?
It doesn't list who voted, but I show that only 4 have. One left.
Roll call.
Chairperson Scarborough Echo,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Baraza,
Aye.
Commissioner Ordian,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcoxen,
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips Martinez.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. We'll move on to item number 7, rotation of chairperson. It has been an honor and a privilege. Thank you very much. And Chairperson Kimberly Barasa taking over.
All righty. Thank you, Commissioner Scarborough Echo. All righty. Do anything else before we move to the next item? No? Well, Vice Chairperson will be Commissioner Ordian. Is that, yeah, okay, perfect. Okay. All righty. Thank you for the opportunity. Let's get this going. All right, item number 8, department updates. I'll go ahead and start with my left, Commissioner Wilcoxen.
The centers were closed for Martin Luther King Day yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to visit the centers this month.
Commissioner Scarborough Echo.
Thank you, Chairperson. The golf course is doing well as usual. Plenty of business, especially in the evening, since we're the only thing that's open for golf. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Vice Chair Ordian, Commissioner Ordian.
Thank you. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity and serve with you, all of you. I'd like to talk about the street on 42nd and Jackson. Just want to have a little concern about the little area over there. So around that area, everything is nice, built and clean and maintained. There's a little section between the India Muni Golf Course and the Santos Cove. So that area, I was walking yesterday, I could see some barricades, so like structures built by homeless people and some trash over there. So it's, I addressed this before. Maybe we can look into something, build maybe park for kids or families or something like that. You look around, everything is nice and clean. That little area need to be improved, and it's actually also for the safe purposes too. So there's a lot of people walking around. So we want to make sure if city can pay attention to that little section and we can build something. There's a lot of young families moved in. When I moved to the area 10 years ago, it was different than now. Now it's really growing, very nice place. You always want to be there. So that would be my concern and my thing. Thank you.
Commissioner Phillips Martinez.
Yes, the India Performing Arts Center is humming right along. Where they're coming into the height of their season over there. They're currently presenting Always Patsy Cline, which runs through early February, and then they'll be moving into Neil Simon's I Ought to Be in Pictures. I can tell you that attendance is increasing, which is great to see more people coming downtown through the weekends. There was almost 200 guests there on Sunday. So there's a lot of traffic down there. People are enjoying what they're seeing, and there's new visitors. So we track who is coming to the center, and there's a lot of new visitors who have not been to the center before. So that's nice to see. Also, I wanted to let you know that if you are a member of the community, Desert Theater Works, which operates the Indio Performing Arts Center, is a community theater, meaning that anyone is able to audition. If you are a singer, dancer, actor, actress, whatever the case may be. There's some auditions being held tomorrow night for some roles in Little Shop of Horrors to be produced in March, and guess who's coming to dinner. So if you're a member of our community and you would like to participate in live theater, come on down. We'd love to see you. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. I oversee special events. I'm going to go ahead and talk about 3 events that I was able to attend since the last time we met, which are the tree lighting, Christmas tree lighting here at Tamale Festival, and Take Center Stage at the outdoor living room, which I was just notified that that'll change names, right? But tree lighting, had it here at City Hall back in December. Very well attended. It was very nice being mother of young children. It was nice to be here, have them come listen to the choir performances, and it's always a little, good thing to do during the week, bring the kids. It's better than having them at home. So if you weren't able to make it, please come out to some of our community hosted events. Talking about the Tamale Festival, this year it was well attended. I don't have the numbers, so I cannot tell you in comparison to previous years, but in comparison to other events post-COVID, I believe it was very well attended. Being the first time that we had new coordinators, I could see that there were some things that needed a little help, but overall, I want to commend the team that worked on it. They hit the nail right on the head when it comes to the cultural aspect of it, making sure that there was activities for the whole family, all ages, right? And so I really did enjoy that. So again, I commend the team that put it together, the staff, and those that, public safety that were around, keeping us safe. And then this past weekend, the city hosted its first event, which will be happening, if I'm not mistaken, the second Saturday of every month. This time around, or the inaugural one, they had line dancing. It's here at the corner on Miles and Smur. So please come on out next month if you're able to. I'm not sure if the theme was already announced. If not, keep an eye out on that. With this event in particular, I did have a lot of people comment personally to me that the theme or the subject of the event wasn't necessarily not in accordance, but what people really wanted to do. Maybe it wasn't the most popular one. I was able to attend. Not only I was also able to present a certificate of recognition. Very well attended, in my opinion. Maybe not something that I would stick around and, necessarily stay for a very long time, but I could see that there was a lot of people having fun, enjoying themselves. So let's go ahead and I'm not sure if there's a planning committee or who's coming up with these themes, but I look forward to, maybe seeing them. And if there's any way that we can provide any input, I'd love to do that. Or also maybe have like a survey online, Facebook, asking our residents what they would like to see. A lot of folks were asking for like salsa night. Some others compared it to mariachi nights at other cities. So let's see if we're able to, and of course, if I'm able to participate or give any input, I'd be more than happy to do so. All right, so for our next item number 9, park updates, I'll go ahead and start to my left once again with Commissioner Wilcoxon.
With the beautiful weather we've been having, the parks were active. With Miles Avenue Park, all the picnic tables were full. And something I've noticed on the north end, there's not a lot there. So I'd like us to consider the option of putting perhaps a few more picnic tables to the north under the trees, because the picnic tables in Miles Park particularly is very popular. And then regarding Burr Street Park, there's a stone in front of the park that's supposed to have a name on it. And there's no name. And I think that was because wait and see if somebody preferred a name for that park. But since it's been there a couple of years now, Jen, and all the maps show Burr Street Park, I'd recommend that the staff prepare a proposal for the council to go ahead and officially name that Burr Park. That's all.
Okay, is that something that we would be able to do now as an official? Maybe have a discussion about it?
So what I'll do is he asked me to bring that back, so I'll have to put it on the agenda for a vote. And that at that time, we'll discuss the exact name. I think you want to name it Burr Street Park or Burr Park?
Either one.
Okay, because right now it goes by the street name, Burr Street Park. So what we'll do is I'll put it on the agenda for next meeting so we can take a vote on it, which will be a recommendation that we take to council. The meeting following that, I'll agendaize an item for the recommendation that you would like to call it Burr Street Park, and then the council makes that final decision.
Is there any way that, and I don't know how it would go. I know that I've heard of community members that grew up in that area, and then also directly from Pastor Mike Peters, that they would like to name it after a community leader there. And so I believe that would be more significant. Is there any way that you can, how do we make that connection?
So the recommendation would come to you. You would just email me or text me, and I can make that as part of the agenda item for coming back to us, and you can recommend whichever one you guys vote on that would fit. And then again, council makes that final decision. So if you want it Burr Street Park or you want to make it Scarborough Echo Park, we could do that as as a recommendation. You'd vote on that, and then that's the recommendation I take to council.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jim.
Just let me know what name you might come up with.
I did contact the church, never heard back from them.
You know who has a really good relationship with that church? Council member Glenn Miller. He might be able to connect you with them.
Okay.
Jim, is there a way that we can get input from the neighborhood to find out what they might like the park named?
We can if you want to. It would be a survey and things like that. And if Scott wants to jump in here, he's welcome to. I think he came up to the podium.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Scott Trujillo, Deputy City Manager. Just a little history. So I'm actually responsible for building that park. That was my project back in 2011, maybe 2010, 2011, 10, 11, 12. And that was the name of the park that they wanted back then. So we worked diligently with that community. And it was always just supposed to be just a pocket park, a neighborhood park. But Burr Street Park is what they identified. They went through a series of naming after individuals and so forth, and that's where they settled. But the fact there's no plaque there it's blank. I'm glad you made that observation because I was not aware of that. But if it's the pleasure of the commission to still come back these years later and form some type of ad hoc committee to go through different naming, we can definitely do that. But I just want to give you a little context as to when we first built that park.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, we're talking about 10 years later. So if you wouldn't mind, let us know how we either form that ad hoc committee or we'll take your lead on it.
We'll talk about that for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you. Commissioner Scarborough Echo.
Thank you, Chairperson. I have Kauai and Patton Park, which I think we've established in other meetings that it's definitely the more frequented, I believe, of the two. And even just tonight heading over here, Patton Park is completely full. It's very active. It's well taken care of. Thank you to the Indio Police Department for having security there. And I really don't have any issues with that park in terms of upkeep or anything really. Everybody's very happy with both of those parks. So like I've said before, I think that we have other parks that we really need to focus on, Miles Park being one of them. So that's all for my comments.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to have a discussion about what to do with Miles Park. Do you have ideas?
As in,
Well, you talked about doing something about it. I tend to agree with Commissioner Ordian about the lack of park on the west side of the North City. These two parks are both on the far east side. And I hope we eventually consider a park on the western end of North Indio.
definitely one suggestion that I have is that we come out and take a look at some of the parks. If I'm not mistaken, Desert Recreation District is doing some kind of analysis on the parks and what they might need just in general, as they might be taking over maintenance and operation. But I'd be more than willing to come out and have that conversation if possible, and if it's a conversation that you want to have here in the dais, I'd be open to that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. I just want to add, if you like, we can set up a time of meeting or committee and go to the park and on that area and observe and just get an idea. And also we need probably help who the property belongs to or what we can do. So more like maybe create a committee if we can do that and work on that area.
I understand that we might not be able to all show up because of Brown Act at once. So maybe we'll just rotate, or we'll come back next meeting and talk about some of those details, because it's a recurrent conversation, but sometimes we don't bring any actual details. So for example, I can tell you Miles Park needs maybe get divided a little bit more. We finally got 2 soccer goalies in, but maybe we could do 2 others, things that are not that expensive or, financially burdening to the city that would bring more people out to our parks. So I recommend that we come out and then maybe before our next meeting, we come up with a list of items or amenities that we would like to see in our parks in the future.
I would also like to say that if Desert Recreation is now taking operations of the park over, I think it's prudent that we get them in here to speak to us, to talk about what their plans are. Some of those ideas that we may have may be overlapping with what they already have in the works. So if we could get them in here as soon as possible at one of our meetings to speak, I think it would be advantageous to all of us to make informed decisions.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, once the transition happens, we will be having someone here, right? From Desert Recreation District. giving us
If
an
I can
update.
jump in, Chairperson, if that's all right. So what I would suggest on the first item, Armin, with you being the Parks and Open Spaces, you could head up a kind of an ad hoc your department on the sheets here, and if you and Kevin want to get together and find some spaces on the northwest side, that's totally up to you to take a look at that. I can certainly help to tell you if it's private land, how much it would be to purchase land, how big a park it could possibly be, what the maintenance might be on that park, a yearly maintenance, to budget that and to build it. So you got to kind of take into all those considerations on how much it is to build, but more importantly is the maintenance, yearly maintenance of what it costs to seed and what amenities you might want to have in there. So take a look at those spaces. Second part of it with DRD, they are analyzing our parks right now. There is no contract at this moment that they'll be taking it over. There's still a couple items, and I think Scott had touched on it last meeting on the cost. We're going to be helping the cost of one report, and DRD is going to be doing another report on the parks. So as soon as those are done, I'll have them come in and kind of talk about those reports as well. And then the agreement will come through you guys as well to look at, define, change, edit if we need to before it goes to City Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right. Next, did you already give your park report?
No.
Okay. Chairperson, Guardian.
Thank you. Well, it's nice we're talking about parks. Overseeing 3 parks, the Jackson, Yacob Park and Shield Park. So they're all good maintained. There is no problem with parks, and I see a little bit more people attending. We still have a little bit of it's a Shield Park, I believe. We don't have many people over there, but I want to thank police department because you can always see the presence over there. What I was thinking is, in that park is, why there's not many people? What's the reason? Because it's kind of on a corner or something. Maybe we can find something to attract young families there. For example, if you go to the soccer park in Palm Desert, there's a huge area with the kids' playground. It's a really nice place. Maybe we attract more families, kids to come to the park, kind of change the demographic over there instead of, so maybe that's one of the things we can, consider. But generally, the good thing is the parks are well maintained and everything is good. I love those parks, Jackson and the one in Yaca. You can always see people over there a little bit more than before at the winter time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Commissioner Phillips Martinez.
I have Forest Park and Dominguez Park, and both are in great shape. I don't see any maintenance issues with either one. Dominguez Park seems to be the less trafficked of the 2 parks that I oversee. Again, we're always struggling with how do we get people to the parks. So, thank you.
I oversee South Jackson Park and Dr. Carrion Park. Dr. Carrion Park, I could see that there's landscaping is being worked on by the art installation. That's good. It's being kept clean. I know that it's a busy park during the day, not necessarily families and children, but we do know that they're being used, and there's always folks utilizing the picnic tables in the area. For the South Jackson, again, the playground is still fenced around, being worked on. I look forward to that opening up once again. And other than that, the landscaping's looking good. It's being cleaned, so that's good. I do have a question as we're speaking about parks. Is there a particular reason why doggy parks are not part? Are they because they're overseen by the landscape and lighting, or what is it, lighting and landscape district? Or,
That they're not ours? Is that what your question was?
yeah, like, how come we don't like talk about them here, or is it just not on the list?
It's
there
on the
any
list. Actually, we can add those onto the list too, the Mulligan Park and the Station 86 Dog Park. We've really never had anybody look at those except for our park supervisor.
Okay.
So if we want to add those to our list to one of these, I can agendize that for next meeting and you can vote on that and figure out who would want to oversee those two parks.
Perfect, thank you. I have some doggy parents asking about those parks.
Okay.
Thank you. Next item will be number 10, updates from Jim Curtis, Community Services Manager.
Thank you very much, Chairperson Braza. So you kind of mentioned some things already. Tamale Festival, I think it went very well, as you had said. The CUSP agency definitely brought a different dynamic to the Tamale Festival. They are going to be here next meeting to go over, they have a little video they'll show us and go over some things that they saw, and we can add some things. So to have your notes ready for next meeting. If you came to the Tamale Festival, things you might have concerns about, questions, good things, we'll be able to hit with CUSP. One of the things that we meet with them this week. One of the things they did talk about is now they have 12 months pretty much to plan it. As you remember, we signed the contract in August, September. Vendor list went out middle of October, so a lot less vendors because of the lateness of it. So they are very looking forward to having 12 months to get new sponsorships, new vendors, new activations, change some things that they saw as well. But your input will definitely help them make the festival bigger and better for next year as well. The Kennel Dog Show happened the first weekend in January. It was at Empire Polo Club. That went very well, successful. Didn't hear any complaints. A couple people that I know went, said it was very nice. Some ugly dogs there, but it was good. Lacrosse Tournament was this past weekend. I did attend. Traffic issues, parking issues that we definitely have to look at. They had about 400 teams, 400 plus teams attend with about 20,000 people that attended. So we definitely had some traffic issues with their parking. A lot of their lots got full very quickly, and people were trying to find parking spots anywhere in any street that they could find a spot, they parked. So things we really have to look at next year. One of the things that I think happened too, and it's happened a couple times, was they play on certain fields for most of the Saturday and Sunday. So if there's a pocket of fields, say 1 through 7, they're probably going to park in the area where fields 1 through 7. If they're playing in fields 57 through 64, they want to park in that area. Well, a lot of the parking lots that they have aren't close to those areas. One of the areas where people were supposed to park, that were close to their fields, filled up very quickly. And so now they just had to find anywhere and everywhere. So we're addressing that. I'm waiting for the after action report from Ipd, but I was in touch with them and I was on property for the lacrosse tournament. So a lot of things we have to work on, and I'll be addressing that over the next year for them, with them and with us as well. As you said, the Take Center Stage event was very well attended. It was a country night. So it's not put on by the event community services department. It's actually put on by the economic development department. So they had decided to theme their events on the weekend kind of based on what IPAC shows are, trying to attract some of the crowd from IPAC and what the shows that Desert Theater Works puts on, and kind of merge those two or marry those two to try to get people to attend the show and attend our second Saturday events. So this show going on right now at Desert Theater Works at IPAC is called Always Patsy Cline. Patsy Cline was a country singer from years past, so they went with a country theme. The next show that Ron mentioned was I Ought to Be in Pictures, so the next event's going to be kind of Hollywood themed, and then we're going to go from there based on what their shows are. So Desert Theater Works last show is in May. So since we're going to be doing this event every second Saturday, we have June, July, August, September, October, and then the shows maybe start up in October. might theme those as those. So we'll have time in June, July, August, September to do possibly a salsa night or a mariachi night. I like those both suggestions. I wrote those down, but we don't, it's not, like I said, it's not the event department, it's not the community service department. I helped plan a little bit, but it's put on by the economic development department trying to bring people downtown. One of the other things that we are doing is we're going to be building an amphitheater that's a permanent stage downtown. And so they'll be kind of theming, and they'll be basing a lot of where the events are is going to be based in that amphitheater. I think we're a couple months away from that amphitheater. So input is always welcome. You can always email me for that, and I can get it to the right people if you have questions, suggestions, concerns. But that's kind of how it goes for that event. And they'll be running that event every month from now until it ends. I mentioned DRD with the parks. I also want to mention DRD at the teen center. So that contract was done with taking over the teen center. Not really taking over the teen center, but adding more programs from Desert Recreation District to utilize the teen center on the off hours. So they'll be utilizing the teen center in the mornings before they open. They'll be utilizing the teen center in the evenings when teen center programming closes, and they'll be utilizing the teen center on Saturdays and Sundays. So as soon as this weekend, events and programs will be starting at the teen center. They do have a class, I think from 7:30 to 8:30 or 8 to 9 that's going to be coming up for a kids dance class or program, something like that. But they'll be utilizing that center, and we'll get better use for the teen center, which is what council has wanted for since we pretty much built the teen center. So that's good little partnership with them. Southwest Arts Festival is coming up the final weekend in January, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the last weekend in January. That'll be held at the Empire Polo Club, put on by the Chamber of Commerce, part of their contract to do the Southwest Arts Festival. Very busy as well, and tickets are on sale for that right now. Just a little preview for February. There's an interim event that I think I touched on at our last meeting called Thrillville. So the Riverside County Fair National Date Festival is not happening this year. They're doing an interim event the same 10 days that the fair would have been, which is February 18th through February 27th. And it is called Thrillville. It's a carnival and a circus and shows, vendors, and kind of not utilizing the whole fairgrounds as the fair did, but utilizing at least part of it. But it's an event that the county has contracted with this company called Thrillville, and the title of the event is called Thrillville at the Riverside County Fairgrounds. One thing the county is going to do is on President's Day, February 21st, they will be having the parade downtown Indio, same route that they've always had, and that will be happening on President's Day Monday. The county is putting that on, which is the only thing they're doing for February. And this is also based on our numbers and what happens with our COVID and things like that. So right now it's a go, and the city's going to sponsor a little bit out of Thrillville, and we're going to sponsor a little bit of the parade. So look out for those, and I'll be talking about that too as we move along. So that's all I have. And Chief, if you want to have any IPD updates.
Thank you, Jim. I'd just like to say that IPD is real excited about all the special events that have been going on, and the special events that we do staff, we do operational plan, and we have contingency plans and plan for the amount of traffic and staff and the parking. And this weekend with the lacrosse, there was also the polo grounds were also in play. So it was some additional challenges this year with that event. Real excited with how the Tamale Festival came out as far as a public safety perspective, and Dr. Carry-On Park as well. We're working on continuing to address the concerns, the public safety concerns there as the new art exhibit goes up. And just one final thing, we are planning for Thrillville and the parade, and we also are in the planning for the Coachella Music and Arts Festival. So excited about all the events happening in the city of Indio. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would also, I'd like to introduce Scott Trujillo for an update as well, our Deputy City Manager.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, Scott Trujillo, Deputy City Manager. One item I wanted to throw out there, really at this point in time, is just an idea. And it's not agendized, so we won't get into much discussion on it, but just something to put on your radar. And that is the possibility of combining this commission with the Public Arts Commission. There's a lot of natural kind of carryover between the two that just makes sense to move in that direction. This is not something that has been vetted by the city manager nor the city council. So this is very, very preliminary. Last week was the Public Arts Commission meeting, and I did the same thing, just made the announcement and said this is something that we'll begin to discuss. But again, just wanted to put it on your radar, Madam Chair, and let you guys know. I mean, naturally, we would work through all discussions, and it would have to make sense from A to Z for that commission, this commission, along with the city council and city managers. So, but anyway, just want to put it on your radar, and thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for that update or for that comment. I do look forward to having that conversation. Any closing remarks from anyone? No? Alrighty, I do have a few, just a couple, and I'll let you guys go. Jim, going back to the event here downtown every month, thank you for that information. I'm one that respects and I appreciate there being a system and, thought behind it. I'm 100%, behind something that's being well thought out or that's being thought out. I'm just concerned. I just wouldn't want us to be investing time, money into something that will die out if it's not popular to our residents here in Indio. So I would hate to have something else die out in our downtown India. I've been living here for 15 years and it's always, hey, it's something good. And then all of a sudden it didn't work out. And then 2 years later, we hired someone new and it doesn't happen. So that's just my concern, making sure that we are prepare ourselves and making sure that we understand our constituency. That way we're giving them what they want and some things that they'll enjoy. So I really do appreciate that and you taking notes about our comments. Talking about Davis Field, I understand that if it's being locked down for certain reasons, can we consider leaving it open for the public at least some time during the day? It doesn't have to necessarily be locked the whole day unless it's being used by leagues, or can we look into that, please? That way, I think that I would think that my colleagues here would be on board with me when we say, like, let's make sure that our parks are free and open to the public. So I don't think it makes too much sense. I understand if it's maybe during a certain season that the park's being utilized by leagues, but if at all possible, I would, suggest, or I would ask that we look into opening it up to the public, and then going from there, if at some point there's, problems, making sure that we have maybe staff or security there to address those concerns. But it would be one of my personal goals, making sure that these facilities are open to the public, making sure that our families are able to access them as long as, of course, they within the rules and policies. Okay.
I agree, and we'll be talking about that for sure. I do know in the past there's been a lot of theft there, and when you have 800 kids, 1,000 kids that are in the Indio Youth Sports Association, and we when their batting equipment, when their mowing equipment, things like that get stolen, and then they aren't able to use that or aren't able to get food and beverages from the snack bar because that was broken into. Thousands of dollars worth of damage to locks and gates. But I am totally willing to open. I'm just, I do have a concern about that. We do have security that does go to that. IPD is aware of that, to have somebody staff their security 24 hours might be a cost issue, but I am totally willing what you just said. Let's open it. If there's issues, then we can address them.
Yeah, and I know that we just not too long ago contracted for our security to be 24 hours, right? They were just doing a certain hour, or we upped our security. So that would be good to, have
Yeah.
them come out.
Yeah, they do.
so-
They drive by there. They drive by the golf course. They drive by every city building, every city park that we have. I get a report every day almost on what they're doing, what they're seeing. But Soccer Park and Davis Field are part of their route. And it has been minimalized since that's happened. So I'm definitely willing to just ask the question and make sure that's okay with everybody. Again, I don't want to not have uniforms and bases and things for the 800 kids that have signed up to be part of
No, and
IYSA. So I'm willing to open it up for sure, and we'll see what issues might or maybe not.
Perfect, thank you. And I understand your concern, and I know that we also have other city buildings such as the teen center, the senior center, that might be a little bit more secure. If maybe at some point we would need to secure the lockers or the rooms that you're talking about, maybe we can look into that as well, making it harder for someone to break into. But anyways, thank you. Since we don't have any other comments, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting, 6:16. Meeting adjourned.